Do you feel like your aim is holding you back? Maybe you've been using aim trainers or you've been working on your aim every single day, yet you still can't win your 1v1s? In today's video, I'm going to share with you 5 tips that are going to instantly improve your aim and have you winning more fights, allowing you to make it into the higher elos. With that being said, let's get right into it. The first thing you need to start doing if you want to improve your aim in Valorant is learning how to reset your aim whenever you go to take a fight. When you're playing, you're going to find yourself tracking corners and moving your crosshair around at head height. While doing this, your arm and your hand are going to be moving all around the mouse pad. The problem is, a lot of the time when you actually go to swing a corner or take a fight, your arm and your hand end up being in a bad position to aim with. This can cause you to react slower and not be able to control your mouse properly, causing you to lose the fight. So, whenever you go to swing a corner or take a fight, make sure that you're readjusting your arm and your mouse into its most advantageous position. This could be in the center of your mouse pad or wherever you feel the most comfortable when aiming. This tip alone is going to drastically improve your ability to react and aim, causing you to win a lot more of your 1v1s. Although this may seem rather straightforward, a lot of you still don't do this, and it's probably the reason why you're losing a lot of your 1v1s. So remember, every single time you go to swing a corner or you think somebody might peek you, readjust your arm and your mouse position to make sure that you're ready to take the fight and click on heads. The next thing you need to do if you want to improve your aim is actually similar to repositioning your arm. It's repositioning yourself whenever you are spotted or when you go to re-aggress in a fight. A lot of the time people will peek an angle or see an enemy and then re-peek the exact same angle in the exact same way and then wonder why the hell they didn't win the gunfight. While it's true that you do have peeker's advantage, you need to understand that once the enemy's seen you, he's going to be pre-aiming you exactly where you peeked out last and has a very high chance of winning the fight unless you reposition slightly and then swing out. Sometimes it doesn't even have to be that big of a reposition, especially if you are already in a fight. You can just move your agent back or forward slightly and then re-swing. This is going to throw their crosshair placement off and allow you to have the advantage not only in latency terms, but in positioning as well. And the same thing goes for when you're holding an angle on sight. If someone sees you or a piece of utility pings you out, do not sit in the same position. Reposition so that when the enemy swings out, they can't just pre-aim and get an easy kill. This slight adjustment in your gameplay is what separates low elo players from high elo players, knowing when to reposition and most importantly how to reposition. Keep in mind, it doesn't always have to be a huge reposition. It is always situational. As you begin to practice repositioning given the situations that you're in, over time you will learn when and how to reposition properly. Also, when swinging an angle, whether you've been spotted or not, you have to follow these 3 simple rules. Rule number 1 is called the T protocol. What this means is when you go to swing a corner, you should only be holding one direction key. That means that you shouldn't be holding A and W and you shouldn't be holding D and W. Instead, you should only be holding A or D whenever you go to swing a corner and take a fight. This is going to make your agent move a lot faster across the screen, making you much harder to hit, which is going to give you a much better chance of winning the gunfight. On top of this, you should always make sure that before you actually swing out of the angle, you take a few steps back, away from whatever cover you are currently behind. The farther away you are from it, the faster you're going to be on the enemy's screen and the faster you're going to see the enemy on your screen. And lastly, the third rule to make your peeks even more effective, make sure that you are at least 2 steps in from whatever angle you're about to swing out of, so that when you do, you can reach maximum momentum and absolutely destroy whoever's trying to shoot you. When you do all 3 of these steps, the enemy is going to think that you're full sprinting and killing them. I'm sure you've all seen it when someone swings out and it looks like they don't even stop running and they absolutely destroy you. That is because they were following these 3 simple rules. As long as you stop your momentum as soon as you go to shoot when doing these 3 steps, you're going to win all your fights and leave the enemy on the spectating screen. A good way to practice this is go into deathmatch and every single time you go to swing out of an angle, follow all 3 of these steps. And over time, it's going to become ingrained in your mind and you'll become a god at positioning, swinging, and aiming. Now, the next tip is highly controversial, but I stand by it 100%. You need to make sure that your sensitivity isn't too low or too high. A lot of people are going to tell you that sensitivity is just preference, and while that may be true, you need to understand that in a game like Valorant, the sensitivity that you're using can be the difference between you ranking up or being stuck in the low elo forever. There's a reason why the average EDPI of pro players in Valorant is 280. It's because Valorant relies heavily on steady aim and micro adjustments. Now, I'm not saying that you can't get away with a higher or lower sensitivity. However, if you're struggling to rank up and your sensitivity isn't in the range of 210 and 300 EDPI, it might be one of the reasons why you're not winning. To To find your eDPI, you just have to multiply the DPI of your mouse by your in-game sensitivity. If you find that your sensitivity is over or under 210 and 300 eDPI, I would suggest changing it and making sure it falls within this range. If you're on a higher sense right now, I would suggest going towards the higher end of that range, and if you're on a lower sense, then go towards the lower end of that range. Once you've picked your new sense, then you can go to the practice range and spawn some bots. From here, walk up as close as you can to one of the bots and put your crosshair directly on its head. Next, what you want to do is strafe side to side while slowly moving backwards and see if you can keep your crosshair on the bot's head. If you're having troubles keeping your crosshair on the bot's head, then the sensitivity might be a little too fast, and if you find that the crosshair is lagging behind your movement, then the sensitivity might be a little too slow. Adjust up or down as needed within the eDPI range that I've given you, until you find one that feels comfortable for you. Once you've done this, then you can go ahead and spawn some medium bots and practice some of your in-game flicks. If you find that you were over flicking, then the sensitivity still might be a little too fast, and if you were under flicking, then it might be a little too slow. Again, adjust as needed until you find a sensitivity that feels comfortable for you. Keep in mind that when doing these drills, it might not be perfect because it's going to be a big adjustment depending on the sensitivity you originally started with. But as long as the sensitivity feels comfortable and you can control your mouse, then I would suggest sticking with it. It may seem weird at first, but once you get used to it, you should become a lot more consistent and be able to hit a lot more of your shots. So now that you know how to maximize your aim by making sure that your mouse and your agent is in the perfect position to take a fight, and you have your sensitivity optimized for Valorant, the last thing that you need to do to perfect your aim is learn how to properly shoot your gun. In Valorant, a lot of people panic when they aim and they don't take their time. A lot of you will swing out of a corner and instantly crouch spray, or you'll shoot and burst but keep your agent completely still. And this is not how you want to play Valorant. When you swing a corner, don't instantly panic and shoot. Instead, you want to utilize your ability to swing corners and take your time with your shots. This is going to give you a much better chance of winning your fight, because if you swing out and then instantly shoot before you have your crosshair on the enemy, it's going to be hard for you to reset your aim without losing the fight. So always make sure that when you swing an angle, you take your time to line up your crosshair and then you shoot your gun. You have more time than you think you do as long as you are peeking properly. However, if you do swing and end up missing, there is a way for you to still win the fight, and that is to always keep your agent moving when you're shooting your gun. So instead of swinging out, stopping, and committing to the spray, swing out, take your time to line up your shot, and if you miss, then continue to move side to side and shoot in between tapping your movement keys. This is going to allow you to keep your accuracy up while also being hard to hit. It all comes down to timing and not overspraying your guns. Make sure that when you're using a fully automatic gun, you shoot in bursts of 2 to 5 bullets in between tapping your direction keys. And if you're using a single shot gun, then keep your agent moving in between each shot. The more you move your agent, the harder you will be to hit, and the more accurate your bullets are going to be. Now, if you really struggle with the timing of this, and you feel like when you try to do this, your bullets go all over the place, go ahead and check out my in-game aiming routine. It is designed to help you figure out the timing of your movement with your shots, ingraining it into your muscle memory, making it feel effortless over time. The aim routine will be linked at the end of this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and if you got any value out of this video, or you want to see videos like this in the future, feel free to hit that like button, sub to the channel, and ring that bell notification so that you can stay ahead of every other gamer and unlock your full potential. Much love, guys. Hopefully I'll see you in the next one.